A new report details just how abysmal the sales are for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It claims that sales are 33% worse than Gotham Knights, game that came out in 2022, and 61% worse than Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. In fact, the game that released in February did not even chart in the top 10 of video games sold in February in Europe. Oh, sweet baby. Before we get into this, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. This is over at thatparkplace.com. And Christopher Dring at Games Industry reports the latest games sales data chart out of Europe, which tracks both physical and digital sales for most AAA publishers. Reports that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League did not chart in the top 10 of sales for the month of February. That's the month the game came out. The game placed 12th in the month, and Dring reported that its sales in its first 5 weeks of release were 33% lower than Gotham Knights in 2022 and 61% lower than Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy in 2021. So let's take a look into this. First, let's look into how well Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy sold. Square Enix president and representative director Yosuke Matsudo reported that Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy failed to meet the company's sales expectation. He did this in a financial results briefing for the third quarter of 2022. He said, despite strong reviews, the game's sales on launch undershot our initial expectations. However, sales initiatives that we kicked off in November 2021 and continued into the new year have resulted in sales growth, and we intend to work to continue to expand sales to make up for the title's slow start. So he's admitting that sales initially were bad, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had 61% less sales than Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That's how terrible Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is performing. We did get this from Crystal Dynamics CEO Phil Rogers. He shared in November that the game had reached over 8 million players. He said, our award-winning Guardians of the Galaxy just celebrated its first anniversary, and with that, we passed the 8 million player count. Now we've seen great engagement from gamers with this title entering into Game Pass and PlayStation Plus quite recently. So I would assume a lot of that, a significant portion of that seemingly came from Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, because if you look at the Steam charts, the game had an all-time peak number of players of 9,826. So not a lot of people were playing it initially on Steam. And you can see in the last 24 hours, it was just at 188 players concurrently. As for Gotham Knights, the reported data is a little bit more vague. We don't have, even with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, we don't even have any kind of hard sales numbers. We know that they had 8 million people playing, but that doesn't really tell us like how much revenue was earned from that game or how many actual copies they sold. We do know there was 8 million people playing, but again, how many of that was from Games Pass, how many of that was from PlayStation Plus, etc., right? But this is what we have for Gotham Knights. It was second on the UK sales charts when it released in October 2022. I think it fell off by November. It was bested by FIFA 23 in October. That's not surprising. We did get this report from Famitsu in Japan, and only sold 3,125 physical units for PlayStation 5 in Japan in the week of its release. That was that was good for the 13th best-selling retail game of the week in Japan. And then if you look at its Steam charts, it did have all-time peak concurrent players of 23,923. So clearly people were playing this game on Steam. And even now, a year out of, I guess 2 years now, since it's been released, you still are seeing 534 people playing it with the last 24 hours concurrently. So still has some significant player base there. Given this reporting that the sales are much worse than both Gotham Knights and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy within their first 5 weeks of sales, it's quite likely Warner Brothers' comments about the game performing poorly were an understatement. So if you don't remember, just last month, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav said on the company's fourth quarter 2023 earnings webcast that on the theatrical and gaming side, while we did have some real misses this year, we also had some really big wins, including Barbie, the #1 movie globally and the most successful movie in the history of Warner Brothers, and Hogwarts Legacy, the biggest game of 2023. So obviously including that, because I think they released the Switch maybe in that 2023, towards the end of that quarter of the 2023. So but later on, we did get actual specific information on Suicide Squad. So I think we can say that Suicide Squad was one of the big misses he's talking about, some real misses. But then their chief financial officer, Gunnar Wiedenfels, he said this year, Suicide Squad, one of our key video game releases in 2024, has fallen short of our expectations since its release earlier in the quarter, setting our games business up for a tough year-over-year comp in quarter one. So obviously, it's going to have a tough comp going up against Hogwarts Legacy, anyways. But I think the fact that he's just saying it fell short of expectations, I think that is a massive understatement. I think this game lost them lots of money. I've listened to Mark Kern. He predicts that it's probably lost at least $100 million, maybe even more than that. So this game has probably lost Warner Brothers and Rocksteady significant amounts of money. That's how poorly this game has performed. You can even see here, this is the most recent Steam charts. I kind of took this screenshot just maybe an hour ago. You can see the all-time peak was 13,459. That's, I guess, a little over a half of what Gotham Knights did, but you can see 24-hour peak was just 739. They can't even get over 1,000 now. The game has only been out for 5 weeks, and you can see the fall off already on this game. New people really doesn't look like new people are coming into the game and purchasing it. What is also interesting is the game is also the subject of a boycott due to the involvement of consultant Sweet Baby Inc. The game is part of the Steam curator list, Sweet Baby Inc. Detective, that lists all the games Sweet Baby Inc. has been involved with that are available to purchase on Steam. As you can see here, that curator list is followed by nearly 300,000 gamers. It was at 298,042 when I took this screenshot about an hour ago. One would expect it has gone up since then. So it's not looking good for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And this is kind of this is, you reap what you sow, right? And this is what Warner Brothers is now reaping. They are reaping what they sowed with Sweet Baby Inc. and their DEI initiatives. And then also their attack on pretty much their own brand. Right, I get that it's called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but they really did do a number on their own characters there. Those Justice League characters, Batman, Superman, etc., very full of the DEI, the woke ideology that you've come to expect from their movie and television studios. It's now infected their gaming development studios as well. And they're going to be paying the piper. They already are with this game, according to this latest sales data out of Europe. We probably won't know exactly what the sales are unless we get a leak like we did with Sony. And but right now, it's not looking good from what we know. And that's good. It's good that these games are indeed failing. It's showing that the boycott is working, and people should not be buying these games. And it's good to celebrate that these people that are pushing this ideology are losing. Let me know what you guys make of this in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.